Jane and Mike Sullivan are icons of public service in Wyoming and in the broader world of policy and peacemaking. They are people to admire for what they give to public life and the qualities they embody as former governor and first lady and as ambassadors to Ireland. We show who we are by who we lift up as inspirations.
So I first met Mike Sullivan in the late 70s. He was well known as a trial lawyer, a remarkably good trial lawyer, also as an active participant in the sort of civic life of Wyoming. He had that stupid cowboy hat. He had the same kind of persona, somebody who demonstrated great affability. The question of running for governor was obviously on his mind.
Mike and Al's brother ran against each other for governor. And when we heard that Mike was getting in the reins, I had a sense of doom because I knew Mike had friends on both sides of the aisle. He would be hard to beat, and he was.
People forget that it took a fair amount of courage to be willing to run for governor at that point, but Sullivan stepped up.
Frankly, those times were not unlike the times we're experiencing now, and I think his leadership was so valuable then.
Mike Sullivan's cowboy hat isn't the only thing that defines him. He embodies the Western attitude of humor, humility, and commitment to leave the world a better place.
Mike and Jane brought a lot of civility to the governor's office and to Wyoming politics.
He has had in his political life no choice but to create coalitions of people who think differently and have different identities to his, and he's always really enjoyed that. He can find those points and common bridges. It's sort of the opposite of never wanting to burn a bridge. I think he's a very good bridge builder.
Capacity he has and had at the time to have this sort of phenomenal energy, to be a booster of the state, trying to make sure that people's spirits remain strong in spite of what they confronted.
At the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, we are constantly engaging him as the MC for events, because he brings a grace and charm to every moment.
I think about his accomplishments, not only as governor, but as an attorney, the recognition he's got from citizens of the West to others. And then, of course, in his role as ambassador. He became ambassador at a very critical time. The Good Friday Agreement, I think, was months old. Things were a little bit dicey. And what a perfect person to have over there that could respectfully talk to the different stakeholders and do it in a way to advance a peaceful agenda. And he was the guy.
It's not surprising that President Clinton selected Mike to be the ambassador, in my opinion. Because with Jane by his side, I don't think you would be able to find a more exemplary couple to represent this country.
He and Jane's legacy lives beyond the time that they were in office. And that is because not only of the substance of what they accomplished, but how they accomplished it. Because Mike and Jane seem like such an institution in Wyoming, you feel like you've sort of always known them.
You have this icon picture in your mind, and then you meet them and you realize, oh my gosh, I love them even more.
They were effective. They could be formidable. When they had a particular goal in mind, they did not let up. And I think all of Wyoming came to love them very much and appreciate them.
Well, they were a perfect couple because Jane was so gracious and hospitable and smart. And when she was in Ireland, what did she do? She made sure the gardens were beautiful.
I can't ever think of a time when my mother wasn't gardening. That is just who she is and what she is and how she lives her life. When she was First Lady, she started Wildflowers for Wyoming. I think it connected and rooted a love that she had and became something that she could nurture in others.
And to this day, you can see those beautiful purple flowers that she planted all over the place. And every time we drive by a big patch of them, we always comment, there's Jane's flowers.
I remember that when they were in the governor's mansion, that Jane took particular pride in creating some beautiful things. The needle-pointed wildflowers, Wyoming wildflowers on the dining room chairs. And I know that she always was so involved in so many important projects on the humanities side.
She was the ideal First Lady. She's a gracious hostess. She's been involved in so many projects around town and helping build those organizations. So she has her own following.
Wyoming has yet to show tribute to Jane and Mike Sullivan, to show how we value their work and honor legacy. The time is now in Wyoming, where they have committed a lifetime of service, in Casper, where they live. With the Mike and Jane Sullivan Atrium and Jane's Gallery at the Lyric, a long overdue, urgently needed performing arts center in the heart of Casper for the community and the arts that the Sullivans have supported so vigorously.
The Lyric is in the center of the town that they love.
The atrium is meant to be inviting for everyone. And Jane and Mike are the pillar of having an open family room for everyone to come in.
What you're trying to do is a classic monument to them in a very tasteful way. I know they're very proud when they look at those plans and see what's in store. You got to do it.
This community is ready. This community is in need of something like this.
And having this be a legacy for their efforts at building this town is a perfect solution.
And we'd be so proud to have Casper to be the first place that's actually named in the honor of the Sullivan legacy.
Please join me in supporting the Lyric.
And join this community in showing Mike and Jane how much we love them.
This is an honor that Mike and Jane truly deserve.
If you care about them and you respect what they did for the country and for Wyoming, without blemish, they've done their work. And it really is an obligation, in a sense, to honor them in some way.
We have an opportunity to make a difference for Casper for the rest of its existence.
So please join me in supporting my friends, Mike and Jane Sullivan.
Say thank you to two of Wyoming's most prominent and beloved citizens, Mike and Jane Sullivan.
The good news is that listening to Ann and I today, there are people who have the ability to completely do this and get it completed. The bad news is it's still in your pocket, and therefore cough up, which means we'll have to too.